Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to Riding the Wave. I'm Mark Healey, the editor-in-chief of the Wave newspaper, Rockaway's newspaper since 1893. Joining us today is our friend Nicholas Velez. Nicholas is an actor who's got basically a huge role, in the chance of it in the upcoming film called Judas and the Black Messiah. Nicholas, welcome to Riding the Wave. How are you, my friend?
Hey, how you doing, Mark? Good to meet with you, and thank you again for having me talk with you. Yeah, I'm excited.
First of all, congratulations on the role. I know you've done other roles. This looks to me like it's a big break for you to be not only associated with this film, but considering the subject matter and the timing and everything else. You know, Judas and the Black Messiah looks like it's going to be an important film. And as an actor, anytime you get an opportunity to be in an important film, it must be thrilling for you.
No, it is, and it was. It's definitely the biggest thing I've done this far, and just the talent that I was working with. Daniel Kaluuya, who was in Get Out and was nominated for an Oscar in that, and also Lakeith Stanfield and Dominique Fishback as well. Just super talented people, and Shaka King too, who directed it, is just, he's as cool as it gets, and he's he's going to go on to do some big things as well, and being able to collaborate with the kind of talent that I did, I consider it a blessing for sure, and I'm excited for people to see it on Friday.
You know, it's funny. One of the first people that when I first joined the Wave in 2014, one of the first people I met and was impressed by and really taken by was your dad, Jose. And so for those of you figuring out why are we having this actor on, it's because he's from Rockaway. Your dad always talks about the boardwalk and how important it is and how it brings the peninsula together. And someone like you, who grew up here, not only gets it, but certainly understands how a film like this can be part of that message. How, we have to be in this together. We have to figure it out together. Is that something that your background, has that helped you growing up here and living in Rockaway and seeing, how life is here? Did that help you kind of prepare for this role?
I think definitely my father's personality has rubbed off on me in that sense. He treats everybody with respect, no matter what, and is just a friendly guy, and people gravitate toward him, and I think that's rubbed off on me a bit. I always greet people with a smile, and I want the interactions I have with people to be positive always. So I would say I've just carried that through life in general, and in regards to the film, what it's about is trying to bring everybody together, because the struggle is common. So yeah, to your point, I do think it did have a big influence, me growing up in Rockaway, and me having my father as a role model to look up to.
Everybody's journey is different, as far as getting to actually, because when you're an actor, the first thing when people hear, oh, you're an actor, oh, what have you been in? Have I seen you in anything? And it's hard sometimes because, a lot of times the answer is, well,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. It's a very difficult journey, right? And I mean, look, I spent a year in Hollywood eating ramen noodles, so trust me, I know the journey. But your journey is a little bit different than some of the actors that I've talked with. A lot of people study acting in college, and yes, they had aspire to be an actor, but they don't live, some people eat and drink and, live it every single day. Your journey was a little bit different. Why don't you share with the audience, what your journey was?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really think that it was something that I would do growing up. It wasn't kind of something I always wanted to do. I always like film, I like watching movies, like talking about movies. But it definitely wasn't something that was in the forefront of my mind. I was more, I love basketball. So like, I always wanted to, be in the NBA and do that. And, I played in high school and college, and that was kind of the thing that I was focused on. I went to Penn State and I ended up studying economics, which was, a safe route, something that, I could excel in. And then, afterwards, after college, I didn't really feel, completely fulfilled. Like a lot of people who kind of graduate and like, are kind of like, well, is this just going to be the rest of my life? And so I just took a chance and said, let me try this thing out. I studied in the city at the acting studio. I did a 2-year program there, and I really loved it, and had some breakthrough moments, and just kind of continued to stay consistent. I have total support from my parents and the rest of my family. They support me 100%, and I could not do it without them. So just the key to it is keeping a level head and staying consistent with the work. And you know it just kind of gradually developed. I got an agent, got a manager, and just kind of have been staying the course. I've been at it for 6 years now, so I consider myself still kind of early in the game, because you know um, people have been doing it all their lives. So I still kind of consider myself a bit of a newcomer, but I'm happy with the progress I've made so far. And yeah, it's been quite a journey, but it's a proud moment for me to have this come out. And I'm super happy and prideful, to share it with everybody.
So, whenever I meet an actor, you find that common ground of doing this. Did you ever do a lot of theater as you were prepping for going out and for auditions for film or TV roles? Like, did you do any theater as a training ground, or was it more classroom stuff and then just going to auditions? How did that whole thing? How did your whole process, in the craft, how did that start? And is theater a part of it?
It is a part of it, because my training is theater based. It's I did a Meisner program. It's a branch of
Yeah.
yeah, it's a branch of acting technique. And it's theater based, and we worked on plays from the 1920s and 30s, and stuff like that. And I did my school is attached to theater repertory, and we did do I think I did 3 or 4 like plays, like short things, before I really started doing on camera work. I went to a separate studio to do my on camera technique, and that's when I kind of really thought that film and TV was going to be the avenue for me, because theater and TV and film are a little different style. I mean, like, the principles are the same. It's just there is a lot of technicality that goes into both. So after I did my program, I went to I'm going to shout out my acting teacher, Matt Newton. He's a teacher in the city, and he really helped hone my on camera technique. And yeah, that was kind of, oh, I'm sorry, one second. um that was what kind of got me going, and he really helped me to work with the camera. And you know one thing I will say is that people always kind of slack on the training, you know, when they want to act, you know, they think it's a natural
Yeah.
thing that you can just wake up and do, and you know, you always have to be training constantly. And
Right. It's like a sport. It's like
yeah.
muscle memory. It's like and you played sports, so that kind of really prepared you, whether you think about it or not. As an athlete,
Mm-hmm.
muscle memory is so important, and practice is so important. You know, for the big stage, the game. Acting is the same way, and what people don't realize, what you just said, is really important. That it's completely different to be trained for the stage, and then to be trained for on-camera work, because on stage, everything you do is to be bigger. You know, it has to be bigger. It's different. You know, I used to, for myself, I mean, I don't know about you, but for me, I was always worried about on-camera work being, you know, harder, because of, you have so much less to work with, you know, and it's all got to be in the eyes. It's got to be in your facial expressions. Sometimes it's, you're acting without speaking. So depending on the training that you get, now I love Meisner. I think it's a great technique. It's really about planting your feet and telling the truth. But like, I loved the Atlantic training technique, the Atlantic repertory theater training
Mm-hmm.
technique, which is like kind of a combination of like everything. And because I'm bananas, so I needed to, like, you know, do different things and find different areas. But what's fascinating about me, when we were talking before we came on air, is the fact that, you know, you kind of just fell into acting, you know. And it's funny because I saw your dad on stage at the Rockaway Theater Company, and you know, he was just doing it as a lark. But it was so funny, as like, I never made the connection when your uncle reached out and
Mm-hmm.
said that you were going to be in this film. So I was like, this is so cool. So, you know, I think it's great when people see somebody from the peninsula getting the opportunity, you know, to be in a big film like this. So how did this audition, how did this whole opportunity for you come about? You know, how did you get this audition, and how did you get the part?
So I got it through my manager, and you know, I got the email, and I was actually we were about to sit down to uh to have dinner for my mom's birthday, I remember. And I kind of looked at it, Judas and the Black Messiah. I, you know, without having any context, I thought it might be a Christian film, and you know, I was like, what? I'm like, you know, is this a Christian film? You know, I didn't. I had no kind of sense of what it was until you know, after I sat down and looked at the email and I saw the people involved, and I was like, oh, this is big. And they had me. I did a self tape. It was they actually gave me a monologue, so it, you know, it was just my dialogue. They gave me a monologue, which I do in the film, and I went and I taped it, and sent it to my manager, and she sent it to casting. And then really didn't hear anything for about a month and a half.
Oh my,
And
oh my God.
you know, during this time, I was actually training for the marathon. I was training for the New York City Marathon, and the weekend of the marathon, I think I got an email that Friday, um, before I was going to run the marathon on Sunday, saying that I had a call back on Monday. So you know, I was like, oh wow, like shit, I'm gonna run. Excuse me. You
Okay.
know, I'm gonna. You know, I got to run this marathon, and then I have the audition. Like, am I gonna be able to walk to the audition? All this, and you know, it helped me with the motivation, because I'm like, you know, while I was running the marathon, I'm like, I just felt like the sense that this role was for me, and that, you know, finish the marathon, like, let's do this audition tomorrow, knock it out. And yeah, so the day before the callback, I had run the marathon, and I went in for casting, did the callback, felt great. And then yeah, 2 days later, they told me I got the job. And then 2 days after that, I was in Cleveland where we shot the movie. So it was a crazy week for me, that week. And I it couldn't have worked out better, I think, for me. So yeah, that's kind of how that came to fruition.
I mean, that's just insane. I'm just telling you right now, that's completely insane.
Yeah.
I ran a marathon, then I had a call back. Oh, and then I got part.
Yeah.
It's insane, man. Well, congratulations. I mean, it's really exciting, obviously for you and your family and everyone in Rockaway that is pursuing this career. It gives hope to people that, if you do pursue something and you give your all to it, and I always tell people though, there's this saying, Milton Berle, who's the great entertainer from back in the day, he used to say, if opportunity doesn't knock, build a door. So that's what you did. You weren't really planning on this as a career, but you felt like things weren't going the way that you wanted them to go. You tried something else, and a whole different pathway opened up for you. And it could be acting, it could be something else for others, but to see someone like you from Rockaway who's doing so well, it's inspirational. Do you take that like, do you think about stuff like that when you are getting this opportunity to be in this film? Like, do you think about the people that might be watching you or hearing about your story? Do you ever get that, like, wow, like, this is so cool, and I want to share it with people? Do you ever get like that kind of a feeling?
I do, actually, because I feel like I've been blessed to be able to take that chance, like I said, because of the support I got. And I hope if in some way whatever I do can trigger a spark in someone to pursue their dream and give it their all. That's what kind of gives me life. And my parents have always had my back, and I've always felt secure in being able to, like, fail, you know what I mean, if I have to. And if I can inspire other people and be like a little spark to what they want to do and pursue, then that means the world to me, honestly. And that's what I'd like to do as an artist. So it definitely is a big part of why I do it. So
I love movies too. You were talking about it before. It's so funny because I know actors that don't even watch movies. They don't
Which I
even.
don't know how that
I'll
works.
talk.
I don't know how that works.
I remember once I was working in LA and I met Paul Reisner, and he was so cool because I was working in Blockbuster Video. That's how old I am. And Paul Reiser came in, and he was looking for movies, and I took him around. I was like, look, I said, you ever see this movie? Do you ever see this movie? You ever see this movie? And he's like, dude, you got to get out of here. Like, you have got to get out of this place and go, like, perform somewhere. And I'm like, well, I'm actually an actor. And the fact that I was telling an actor what movies to watch and what movies he hadn't seen. So you could, and it just sparked a memory. And I was thinking about, well, I want to ask you, what movies or actors did you like growing up? And do you think that this is why, liking film and liking, maybe a certain actor or two, is that maybe something like in your brain that kind of triggered after you decided that this is what you wanted to do?
For sure. I am like, if I see something that I like and can't get out of my head, I just want to talk about it, to like everybody.
Yeah.
And I would say that
I drive my wife insane.
Yeah. I would say I'll give you two of my my all-time favorite film is probably Pulp Fiction, which is a lot of people's favorite film just because the unconventionalness of it. And after I saw that, I saw it kind of late. I feel like I saw it maybe my last year of high school, and that movie like just changed everything for me. I feel like because then I got into Tarantino, had to watch every movie Tarantino made, and then that kind of led me to Scorsese, and I had to watch every Scorsese movie, and it just kept going, and I just kept getting more more deep into film. And I would say that was a big point for me where I was just kind of obsessed, you know what I mean? And one of my other favorite films, probably Whiplash, is also
Yes.
Is one of my favorites too. I just that movie to me is just bonkers. So I would say those are two of my favorites. I love David Fincher too. Anything that he makes, I'm gonna watch. And as far as actors, I don't know if you've seen the show Mr. Robot, but Rami
Yes.
Malek, he's one of my favorite.
Yeah.
One of my favorite actors right now. I just and his journey too. How he kind of has an unconventional voice, unconventional look, and how he stayed in it for a while is something that inspired me too. I think that was a big because Mr. Robot came out I think in 2015 and that's like
right around that time.
Yeah, that was a big because his performance just resonated with me so much, and I think that definitely also led me to pursue it because something about his personality and the way he was, I thought was a little similar to mine, and I think that definitely played into me giving it a go. So he's definitely an inspiration of mine, and happy to see how his career has just kind of he's blown up after Mr. Robot. So yeah, those have been the influences that I think have been the biggest so far for me.
It's always cool. It's always cool when you hear somebody talk about the stuff they like, because sometimes actors don't like to share that stuff. Sometimes they're very private. And I have a lot of friends that are still in the business. One's very successful, and he also has an acting school, and I've taught acting, so sometimes I'll live vicariously through, either one of my students that has been successful or, I haven't done it in a long time, but, I've been in journalism for the last, 20 something years. So I haven't really been in that world. But like I said, I have friends. I have a friend that's a playwright. I have a friend that's a director. So the different kinds of conversations you have with them is completely different than the ones that you have with your fellow actors. When you talk about performances and moments, choices, to me, that's always the thing that drives my wife crazy. Cause I'm like, I'll talk about a choice that an actor made in a film that she might not even have in the scene. And she'll be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I always get when I watch a performance, is when, and I used to teach it, and I used to show people on the waterfront with Marlon Brando. There's a scene where Brando is walking in the park with Eva Marie Saint, and he drops his glove, she drops her glove. And instead of hitting cut, Elia Kazan let the scene go. And Brando, as he's talking, picks up the glove, puts it on his hand. He's like doing all this stuff. And it's like, there is no way that was in the script. That's just something that he, as an actor, something happened and he dealt with it, And I always thought that for me, that was always like, I had an acting teacher, Lou Vuolo, and he always used to talk about that. Like if something happens on stage, you got to deal with it. And then as an actor on film, depending on the director, you're not always going to get that chance to do it. But it's like when you talk about the craft and you're talking about acting, and it's always cool to talk to another actor about that stuff. Like, do you ever get, like, when you're on set or when you're with a, you know, after a class with your teacher or whatever, you get those like 4-hour-long conversations about acting and doing different things? I mean, you ever find yourself doing those kinds of conversations?
All the time. It's the same as you. You know, I can get kind of carried away and talking about a performance or a film, and you know, it'll just go on and on and on and on. And you know, I'm actually in LA right now, and you know, I've met a lot of cool people, and you know, since, you know, also we're you know, we're in the midst of the pandemic, you know.
Right.
You know, you're on the phone with people for like way longer than you would be during normal times. So
Right.
I would say over this last year, you know, been having like very long conversations about, you know, film, TV, acting, and yeah, it's as you can see now, my face kind of just, you know, lights up thinking about it. And yeah, when you have that, you know, and I think, as you said, when you hear someone else talking about the passion that they have for it, you know, it's just, you know, infectious. So
Right.
I'm the same way. So we have that in common for sure.
And you know, it's cool. Like LA, you know, it didn't work out so great with me, but you know, LA just has that vibe where everyone is either wants to be an actor or wants to be in the movies or is in the movies, or, you know, whatever they're doing is involved in the movies. And so you do constantly, and I know it must be much harder now with the pandemic, because you're not going out, you're not socializing, you're not, you know, but I used to remember, you know, just being on, you know, on the strip and going to different places and running into people and seeing people. It was always like that energy was always there. You know, it was always there, and you're always like. I remember going to where I used to live. I used to live on Bronson, which is right by the Hollywood Hills, right by Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
And people would go to the store, like grocery store, looking like they were going out for you know, like full makeup, you know, wearing suits.
It's
You know?
still like that.
Because it's like I might run into someone. You never know. I want to look my best.
Mhm.
But look, you're living the dream. I'm so excited for you. Congratulations on this film. It's Judah and the Black Messiah. When is the movie coming out?
It's coming out on Friday, and
Wow, so great timing.
yes, and the best way probably, you know, for people in the city, you know, obviously theaters aren't open yet, so it will be on HBO Max,
Yep.
available to stream. So yeah, I hope you can check it out, and I hope you dig it. And yeah, thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I really enjoyed it.
Nicholas, it was cool. Keep in touch. You know, let me know what you're up to, what you're doing. Let us know. Let everyone in Rockaway know what's going on. We wish you all the best. And I know the film's going to be great, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. So you take care of yourself, man.
Okay, you too, Mark. Thank you. Take it easy.
You too.